Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing MLB Spring Training News. Today I'm going to be going over my MLB Spring Training News, talking about the spring training and what things have happened. If you do like this video, hit that like button down below. Let me know down in the comments if you disagree or agree with any of these things that's been going on or any of the signings. There has been a signing, so if you do agree with any of that stuff, let me know down in the comments, and we're going to get this video started. Starting off with some players who've been looking very good in spring training. Gallo, Ohtani, and Harper. Joey Gallo, Shohei Ohtani, and Bryce Harper have been popping off. These are three players who I think have either been have had some down seasons recently or haven't really lived up to their full potential. Joey Gallo, last few seasons have been kind of down years. His hitting has not been great. And, he's a leader of that team. He wants to prove something. He wants to go out there, and I think he's trying to do that in spring training this year. You have Shohei Ohtani, who's going out. He's a player, really good player, hitter and pitcher, and he's pitching really well. Last year his pitching wasn't great, didn't pitch well last year. This year he's looking great on the pitching side. Can't wait for him to do well. Shohei Ohtani looking great. Also trying to prove something. Wants to be the leader of that starting rotation on the Angels that doesn't have a great rotation. Ohtani really wants to prove something, showing something off right now. And then you have Bryce Harper, who also is popping off. He has had a few good seasons. Nothing wrong with his last recent seasons. Just the thing about him is he's kind of been one of those players who, he hasn't had a great, I'm talking an MVP season in a few years. He's had some great seasons, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't had one of those, MVP seasons that people have been waiting for from him. The last time he had one of those was a few years ago. So I think he's wanting to really show what he can do on a team that their offense, has a few guys, but he's the main man of that offense. There's nobody else that's on the offense besides him. So popping off, they're all popping off, doing really good right now. I know at one point Gallo was leading the league in home runs. Ohtani was hitting home runs, and he was striking people out really good. Harper was looking really good, hitting home runs in almost every at bat. These three guys, they're really good and looking really good going up in spring training. Next up, we have a young prospect and Bobby Witt, great prospect. Another guy I didn't include, Bobby Dahlbeck. Bobby Witt and Bobby Dahlbeck, two Bobbies who are looking really good. And, man, these prospects are great prospects, and I can't wait to see them. I know spring training stats doesn't matter. I probably should say that about before I really go in. Spring training stats don't matter, but these prospects, man, they look really good. Bobby Dahlbeck and Bobby Witt, they look really good, and we're starting to get, you look at this, spring training, it doesn't really matter that much, but these are some players who are trying to prove something, and they're trying to prove that they're great prospects. The Royals are looking really good this year. Like I said, it doesn't matter too much, but, the Royals are looking really good, and Bobby Witt is looking really good. He's been really good. Young prospects, many of them have been looking very, very good, and I'm very excited to see what happens. Next up, Makiel Franco joins the Orioles. Makiel Franco, third baseman who was playing with the Royals last year, had a great season, hit very well, joins the Orioles. I don't think this makes the Orioles a better team, but I do think it makes them... I shouldn't say that. I do think it makes them a better team, but I don't think it makes them, a great team. I don't think it's a big, huge addition. I do think it's a good addition. We add in with Franco, or with Galvis, your two new guys. You have Santander and Mancini. That's not a bad lineup. And I think this team could be pretty dang good if they can get their formula right. They could be actually not a bad team. I shouldn't say a pretty good dang team, because they won't be a pretty good dang team. But they might have a chance to be a somewhat decent team that's not a complete garbage team. They have a chance if they can get those guys right. And I'm surprised Franco hasn't been signed yet. He's a guy who has not been signed yet, and he had a really good season last year. He has the track record to maybe give a little bit of hitting production. So maybe Makiel Franco can break out and have a good season as he joins the Orioles. Excited for him, and I can't wait to see what he does with his production and what we can see out of him. So Makiel Franco joins the Orioles. Good signing overall. Not a whole bunch to say, but I like that signing from the Orioles. Next up, Ryan Braun retirement. So there's been some things going around about how Ryan Braun might retire, about things about how he's thinking about retirement, or how retirement isn't his worry right now. There's been a bunch of things about retirement, but my main point that I want to talk about with this news is how we're starting to get to, how every 5 to 10 years there's kind of the waves of players who come in baseball, really good talent, generational talent that come in for 5 to 10 years You'll have them come in. They'll be in their prime. Like, let's say, like, 5 years of their prime. That's their main time, and then they'll go out and they'll get older. Well, I think we're starting to reach one of those times. There's a lot of great players right now who are legends who aren't that great anymore, who were really good in the past. And these are guys who are really old. Braun, he had a few good years. Yes, the stuff about him, but Braun, he is probably in that category. You could say Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina. He's in that retirement. When they were with the Cardinals, they were really good. You have those two. You have Miguel Cabrera. He might be, retiring in a few years. Nelson Cruz, Edwin Encarnacion. Nelson Cruz, yes, he hasn't really had a bad year, and he's 41 years old, but he's a great player still. He's still a great player, and he's old. He's going to retire soon. Pitchers, you have Verlander, you have Scherzer. Man, we're starting to reach the end of the era for baseball at this time, and Ryan Braun is going to be retiring in retirement. He might really soon. So, there's some stuff going around, and we'll have to wait and see. But I do just kind of want to make that point that, there's some guys going out, and we'll have to see what happens with that. Next up, Buster Posey, Jared Kelenic, Nate Pearson, Jorge Polanco, and Alex Wood injury notes. These are all guys who have recently kind of been injured, but, I'm not too worried about most of them. Nate Pearson, yes, he got injured big time. He's going to be out for the season. Big loss for the Blue Jays because he's that pitcher that they've been looking for. Buster Posey, Alex Wood, not too big of notes, but, for the Giants, just little injuries, not too big. I don't think so. Those will be fine. Kelenic, young prospect. Hopefully he's fine. Another one of those guys who, I feel like if he gets injured a lot, he might be like Aaron Judge, where when he's playing, he's a mammoth, but he's injured all the time, so he doesn't play all the time, So I hope Kelenic can be able to play, and I hope that he doesn't have big injuries, but you never know. Injuries notes on him. And then Jorge Polanco, it's a small day-to-day injury. Another injury note that was on the injury stuff. So hopefully he does good. Not too worried about that. Oops, sorry. Hopefully not too worried about that. But just some injury notes to keep a lookout for. Next up, we have 2 weeks of spring training left. We're getting to the home stretch of the offseason. This is starting to get to the point where you look at all this, we're getting to the home stretch of spring training. Ever since the beginning of the season, after the World Series ended, we were kind of getting to the point where, we're 2 weeks of spring training left, and then we're going. We're getting to the last part. It's when the players are starting to show off their full prospects, their full prospects. They're starting to cut their prospects, and they're starting to show out their actual full lineups. We're starting to get to the part of spring training where you just want the season to start. A lot of people have said that. You can look at some big baseball channels out there, but we want the season to start. We want the season to start, and I think that 2 weeks of spring training, it really means it's the home stretch. It's the last time. Get your last pitchers and hitters to really ramp up and be ready for the season. And it's one of those things where it's like, there's some teams out there who do really good and really bad. Another point I want to make is there's some teams out there who do really good and really bad in spring training who are really good and really bad. There might be a team out there who's not great in the season, who's great in the spring training. A team that's really bad in the season, who's really good in spring training, or vice versa. But I don't think it makes a big difference just because it's spring training. Spring training doesn't matter. I could give out some examples of teams that I know more because they're in our division, like the Twins. Don't usually have good spring trainings, but these last few years have had great seasons. Other examples, the Royals have had a great spring training, usually have great spring trainings. Don't expect to have an amazing season. Same thing with the White Sox, awful, really bad spring training, only 2 or 3 wins. But you know what? It doesn't matter because it's spring training, because they're going to do good anyway in the season because they have a great team. So 2 weeks of spring training left. We'll have to wait and find out, but I'm very excited to see the home stretch of baseball. 2 weeks left. The next thing I want to know, awards predictions coming this week. I know I said that they were going to be last week, I'm pretty sure, but I changed it because, there's 2 weeks left of spring training, and I want to have my awards predictions, and then I want to have my postseason predictions. So I'm going to do awards predictions this week, and then the week before spring training, I'm going to do my postseason predictions. Plus, I haven't really finished it yet, my awards predictions, but I'm looking forward to that. I will post that this week, Saturday or Sunday, depending when I get it done and when I feel like it. So we'll have that out pretty soon. And yeah, so awards predictions are coming out pretty soon. If you guys do like this video, hit that like button down below. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with the signing or the retirement stuff going on, the injuries. What do you think about those? And, you know, some of the great players who are popping off. Let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.